Hello, everyone. It has been a while, as usual these days. So, I have a small book haul that I would like to share with you on books that I picked up I want to say mid last week. So, I am finally getting around to having time to film this video, and we are going to prepare to jump right into it. So first of all, I'm going to start off with this first customization I was brave enough to do in actually taking apart a book that I had actually purchased and deciding to use it in a way that I prefer using it. So I've shown this quite some time ago, possibly over a year ago. This was an old phone book that I picked up from the bookstore, and I was not feeling the layout of the phone book. I wasn't going to really use it as a phone book. So, what I decided to do was use it in a traveler's notebook style form, and I took the innards out and replaced it with this little notebook that I purchased from Dollar Tree, which is held in temporarily with a rubber band. I will get a better method of holding this in, but right now it is kind of slightly hidden by the spine because it's purple, so I mean you can only hide the purple so much. I also have a black one here, but I decided to turn this into a traveler's notebook style because I love this cover so much. The cover was the only reason I actually purchased this to begin with. So I just went ahead and took it apart and put a notebook in it that I know I will use. Okay, so beginning with the first items from my haul, I purchased these two headphone jacks for my phone because I am one that still loves using the actual plug in headphone jacks. I do have some Bluetooth devices. I have Beats headphones, which are too big to carry around all the time. But I also have a, I'm pretty not too crazy about Bluetooth. I don't really like having Bluetooth items in my ears. I honestly felt that when I was using Bluetooth, it was kind of had something going on in my head or something like it just felt funny. So I've been using plug-in head jacks exclusively for a little over a year now. And I have a pair that I keep in my backpack, and I decided to, but the mic on the ones that I keep in my backpack doesn't work. Like if I receive a phone call, I can hear the caller, but the caller can't hear me. So I still use them to watch videos or whatever on my phone because they work perfectly for that. I just can't use them to talk. So I decided to pick these two up. One is empty because I have one inside of my backpack I'm currently using, and this is the backup pair, and they are working pretty well. I like them. They're not as sturdy as my older ones, and maybe I should go get them to compare. Okay, so this is both pair in comparison. This is the pair that comes out of this pack here, and you can see the wire is much thinner, and it is not a covered wire as this one is, but the mic on this pair stopped working on. I have no clue why the mic stopped working. There may be something I can do to fix it, but this one is working completely fine. The music plays really well. I do like the way these fit in the ear better, and these go in this way. But and the mic on this one is on the left ear, whereas this one is on the right. But I really prefer plug-in earbuds. Both of these I keep in my backpack because I use these every day while when I'm at work, while I'm on break, and saw these and just decided to pick these up as backup until I can get me a new sturdier pair. So up next, I often speak on how I love my older digital media, and I was able to find, well, just looking through the reduced price DVDs, I saw that they had season 3 of Little House on the Prairie, and I had already showed you guys that I picked up season 1 and season 2. So now I also have season 3, and together this is at very lovely affordable prices, because when I purchased these, I want to say I had a 20% off discount on this one. I had 10% on this one. But if you look at this collective season as a whole, I think I saw it in Walmart. It was pretty expensive. And I have 3 seasons for pretty much a steal. So this is all I picked up in my digital media. So on to the next item. Okay, so we're jumping back for a second. As I was pulling something else out, I found the insert that I removed from this book. Now, I may use it for something else later. That's why I held on to it. But it was not going to be that useful for me inside of this cover. So this is what I removed from the book in order to use it in the way I'm deciding to use it now. So up next, I purchased these blank note cards for the Outlander, and it has like 5 designs of each card. I want to say, let's see. And what I plan to do with these what I plan to do with these cards is, as I'm reading the Outlander series, I will use this in a journal as note-taking cards to kind of document. So I think it's 5 different cards. Let's see. I want to pull. And yeah, they're here on the back. But I'll go ahead and pull them out. So I'm going to use them as note-taking cards as I am reading through the series to kind of document different things that I am thinking or feeling about specific areas that I am in the series. So that's why I decided to pick those up, and these are the envelopes. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I grabbed that little set. So up next, out of the magazines section, I saw these little anthologies, old anthologies on American Arab affairs. And this one is from the summer of 1982. This one is from winter of 1984 and 85. And this one is from summer of 1987. So this was like a quarterly that came out. I want to say it was printed like 4 times a year. And I picked it up because I just love reading anthologies, and I thought that this was a very interesting find. My other phone keeps dinging. Sorry if you guys can hear that. I thought that this was a very interesting find at $2 a piece, and everything I did get 10% off of because I had my 10% off coupon. But this was a very, very nice price for these old anthologies. Do a slight flip through of this one. And they even had like this subscription order card in them. So, I mean, the quality of paper back then felt so much different also. These are very, very nice. And it was very interesting to look at the price differences throughout the years, because it started off at $4 and then $2. 2 years later it went up by 50 cents, and then another 2 3 years it went up by $1. So that shows how the prices changed on it throughout the years also. So previously I mentioned how I decided to reintroduce the Spiderwick Chronicles to my library because I just love the series. And I have already shown that I have the Spiderwick Chronicles books 1 through 5. This is the Spiderwick Chronicles. This is a notebook. And then I have Beyond Spiderwick. I have 1 and 2 in that collection. So my recent purchase for this collection was Beyond Spiderwick, The Worm King Book 3, which completes the entire Spiderwick series. So I was happy to finally pick that up because sometimes going to the bookstore is pretty much a hunt. It's not like going into a Barnes and Noble where you're gonna go in and just pick up exactly what you came in to look for on the shelf. Going to a used bookstore, it's pretty fun, but sometimes when you go, you're not going to find every item that you're looking for. So it's pretty much a hunt. If you see something that you want, even if you only see book 5 and you don't see the books ahead of it, you should go ahead on and pick it up because the stuff comes in so randomly. Eventually, you'll have the entire set, but this one is finally complete. So this was one of my most exciting finds. I found this beautiful, beautiful atlas. And it is from the year, I want to say 1995, because there's a 1996 dedication in here. I think I saw 1990. Yeah, so this is from 1995. So this is over 20 years old, which means that it's no longer as valid as it was 20 years ago. But the book itself, this is such a beautiful, beautiful atlas. I mean, it has everything in it. It's fun for me. It's fun to just sit and look through it throughout everything, all the countries and throughout the world. And if you were wondering what type of book this is and wanted to look it up, it is one by Eddie Bauer. But I thought that this was really, really cool. Love this atlas. So up next, I picked up Fathers and Sons by Ivan S. Turgenev. And this is a Russian classic. It's one that I've heard mentioned, but I really don't know much about yet. it seems quite interesting. So I decided to go ahead on and pick it up. Also, it had this, I want to say this is like an old library um checkout or something in here. Normally when I see things like this in my books, I just leave them in there. But it seemed pretty interesting. And then this one was a paperback by the Modern Library College editions. So I love the old simplistic look of the cover. So I went ahead and picked it up, not just because of the simplistic look of the cover, which this stuff like this is a preferred cover. I like this cover. But I picked it up because I am interested in the actual story. So, in a little bit of an overview on it is Father and Sons is an 1862 novel by Irving Turgenev that explores the generational conflicts in 19th century Russia, focusing on clash between the older liberal aristocracy and the younger generation of nihilists, represented by the main character Bazarov Bar Bazarov, I guess. The story follows Bazarov and his friend Arkady as they return from university to their families, sparking ideological and personal conflicts that highlight the social upheaval of the era. It is considered a masterpiece of Russian literature known for its psychological depth and nuanced portrayal of social change, and is famous for introducing the literary figure of the nihilist. So this one seems like it's going to be a very interesting read. It's not very long. I could possibly go through this in a few days. And this was the first novel in my haul. So up next, I have this paperback version of the Portable James Joyce. And this one contains stories such as Dubliners. Uh, let's see. Okay, it has the sisters, An Encounter, Arby, Evelyn, Ivy Day in the committee room. It has a collection of poems in here. It has maybe quotes from Ulysses. I'm not sure if it has. Let's see if Ulysses is in here. So it says from Ulysses. I'm not sure if it's the entire Ulysses that's in here. From Finnegan's Wake. So I picked it up because it's a portable collection of tales, and I am really interested in seeing this. Another thing I loved about the older printed editions like this is how they would also include other books that are published under the same series of books. And they have so much here. I'll put it close. 1 second. Okay, so I had to take a brief pause from this. My daughter just walked in off of her road trip back home to Louisiana, and she brought this to me all the way from back home. So I had to show this to you guys because I will be eating this as soon as I'm done with the video. A road trip also sounds really nice at this point. May take one myself pretty soon. But I think I was finished discussing this book, and so I'll move on to the next one. So this one is called Gideon Smith and the Mechanical Girl. This one I was interested in because I love steampunk. And all they had to mention in here was the airships, and I was already sold. So this is gonna be a new story to me. I'm not sure if this is a YA or a regular novel, but because it is based on steampunk and the mechanicalism of steampunk, I I just had to have this one, and I also picked this one up on the discounted rack for $3. So up next, I have here 1Q84, and I've been wanting to pick this book up for quite a while. I do have the digital version in my Kindle, but I love having physical books, and this one was finally on the shelf, and I just decided to go ahead on and grab it. This one is in strong comparison to 1984 by George Orwell. So I have been interested in reading it for quite some time. So these are selected works of author Conan Doyle. I picked this up because I just love this edition of this book. This is the first time I have seen such a this book has a hardbound look to it, but it has like a flexi finish. I'm not sure if it is I think it's a canvas cover with some kind of layering over it. But I thought that this was such a beautiful edition of this book. And this is a collection of his works. And I will put it in camera so that hopefully you can see the contents. But this is a huge collection of his works. And this is going to be such a beautiful book to read from. This is the end papers. This front end paper is slightly cracked, but I'm thinking about getting maybe a book plate or something to put in here. And I'm going to re-glue it and maybe put a book plate over it. So, but this was such a beautiful book and such a rare find with the collection of his works. I also have here the complete works of Edgar Allan Poe. And to have his complete works in such a beautiful book, this is one that I almost made a mistake on because I saw this book when during a previous time that I went to the bookstore, saw it on a shelf and walked off, and just knowing I wanted it, I left it. So it was one that played in my mind a whole lot, going to work and hoping that when I went back to the store, it would still be there. So thankfully, when I did return to the store, it was still there. And I was able to pick this beautiful copy up of his complete works. So happy to have this one in my library. And I also kind of already bookmarked off a few things that I want to get into reading in here. But yeah, this one is the complete works of Edgar Allan Poe. So anytime I go to the bookstore, I just have to visit the art book section. And this one is just called Drawing by Daniel M. Mendelowitz. And it has a very, very nice selection of information in here, book plates, old book plates. So I thought that this one was really a really nice addition to add to my art book collection, and something to sit and read through and learn a little more on my favorite subject. So another section that I visit, whether I need them or not, is the notebook section. Because whether I need notebooks or not, the thing is, notebooks come in so many rare artistic forms. They're just, it's not just one a type of notebook that you can find. It's so many different types of notebooks. So I found these little wood grain style covers, and they were in these three graduated colors. So I decided to pick up all three of them. Perfect representation of what original wood looks like. And they are just, all of them look the same on the inside, lined pages. There's no layout of how many pages are in here, but they are all pretty, I mean, in great shape. They were all brand new, and I decided to pick all three books up so that I can have an edition of every last one of them. And lastly, I picked up these three B5 style. I have begun to really love, even though it's a big style notebook, I love B5 style notebooks. And these covers, they were just very cute. The end papers are the same on all three, and they are lined also. They all look the same on the inside. They're lined also. And I'm not sure if these came in one of those packs of a collection of three. So I don't have any information on how many pages are in here either. But they will still fit inside of one of my B5 notebook covers. And sewn binding, always a winner. They are sewn. So that was a brief look at my recent book haul. I kind of rushed through it a little because I do still have to work tonight, and I have been wanting to get this haul up for, I want to say, yeah, about a week and a half, and I've been letting every day pass. So I am finally able to, let's see, was it a week and a half? What date did I purchase these books? The 23rd. Yeah, so that was last week. So I'm finally getting that up, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, thank you so much for watching.